Cheers to racing season 2023. All right, the 2023 racing season is done. It's finished. As you can tell, we did pretty good this year. If you guys haven't been watching along from the very beginning or just need a recap to refresh your memory, because I need to go back and look at some of the videos to refresh my memory, this is the video for you. So to begin the year off, last off season, I decided to do a lot of changes to the car, maybe a little too much, but so I designed and built my own double wishbone SLA suspension onto the front of the Mustang. And that was a huge endeavor. There are videos for it. There are videos throughout the year as I was doing tweaks and changes, breaking things, fixing things. There will be some more videos coming up this off season as I do some more improvements. And then to make things just, a little bit harder for myself, I got the engine rebuilt on the car. So it's a brand new engine to start off this year. It's basically the same engine that I had, but we blew the head gasket and I had to put a backup engine in. So while the engine was out, decided to bore it over, get it all cleaned up. And it's just a basic 306 head cam intake kind of setup. So nothing too crazy. But yeah, we put that in. Didn't get to do quite the setup that I wanted to. I had to kind of do it as we went throughout the year. But starting off the year, brand new engine, brand new suspension. And as you would expect, the year did not start off very good for us. The car ran, it felt good, but we were not in the positions that I expected to be in, kind of where we were at the beginning of the year. I took a step back at the beginning of the year, and that was just, it took a little bit of time to get us to figure out the suspension, to figure out the engine. So the very first events, I basically washed down the engine on one of the cylinders and had to change oil at the event. But we got all that figured out, and some things that I didn't actually show in any of the videos afterwards. I pulled a head off, inspected the cylinders, and on just that one side that had the washdown event, and we figured out why an ejector was basically stuck on. It was just washing down the cylinder. I mean, it was smoking and all the bad stuff. But cylinders look good, so we buttoned it all back up, and it's been running top notch ever since. I'll show up a little graph right now of our 2023 season. And as you can see, the beginning of the year, this is my PAX time. I was not where I wanted to be. I was more than 15th position in PAX. But you see there's a huge drop as we're kind of going. And that first big drop was alignment changes. I did a caster change and I believe a rear spring change on the car, and that helped tremendously. So just tweaks and figuring out what the alignment should be, what the engine or what the suspension really needed to get the most out of the tires and for us, our confidence in driving the car. So that was the big first drop. The second huge drop in this in the graph, which I didn't think would really be all that relatable, but it corresponds to that time, was when we went distributorless ignition on the engine. So that's where I basically got rid of the distributor, went to 8 coil packs on the engine and whole custom ECU. So really it should have been the same power, but the car was it was so much better to drive with it actually being somewhat tuned. The car had a kind of a tune on it previously, not dyno tuned or anything like that. Just, I think it was more like a mail order tune. It was a tune that I got when I got the engine. It had a tune that came with it. It seemed the guy was confident that it was good. And I ran that for a little while. And I mean, it was good. It wasn't the best. I mean, I did blow a head gasket with that tune, but that was probably more related to not running the proper fuel. So I now run premium in the car all the time. But yeah, after putting the distributorless ignition on there, the car ran so much better and did feel quicker, more responsive. all that kind of stuff. If it was actually more power overall, probably not. But just the feel and the response of it was so much better, and that's probably what contributed to these huge drops in my packs time, because as you can see on there, I dropped, I think, basically all the way down to like third, first in packs kind of area. And something else to point out, on the x-axis of the graph, you see PE and then a number. So that's the point events for this club where I won the trophy. And as you can see, I didn't win all of these events to win this trophy. I won a couple of them, but it was being consistently fast, but we did not start off the year very good, and I never even had this in my mind as being an option for this year, or really ever, for this car and everything like that. So yeah, it's just over the moon with how the car did, how our driving was really good this year. I learned a lot, and as you can see from the graph, I went to a lot of events. I went to 20 events this year. I actually had to buy a whole nother set of tires, so this is the first year that I've ever ran 2 sets of tires, and the other tires on the car right now are not done, so we'll carry over into next year. But I've never gone through a complete set of tires in 1 year, but we just did that many events. I had that many runs on the car, which just gave me that much seat time. Learned a lot from this year. Autocross week is kind of in the middle of the graph, and as you can see back here, I got a trophy from that. So I got 3rd place in the classic class, which is second runner-up, but third in that class, and that was some really good competition up there in this class. So I'm really happy to get this. I did not do very well at one venue, which actually turned out to be the first and last venue. So that venue was just a little difficult for me for some reason. So I kind of started off bad. So I kind of had to make up my time. I think I started off after that event, I was sitting down at like 7th or 6th or something like that. So I built my way back up, and I was getting it was very close to getting 2nd place, and maybe even 1st if I had just a little bit better events at a couple of them. But super happy with that, and got the sticker off the car to kind of remind me. That will be a nice little wall ornament. So that was really fun. Really looking forward to trying to do Autocross week again next year. And then you can see in the graph, our times start going back, or my position starts going back up. So we start slowing down again. Not really sure why. It is the same time frame that we put in the shifter. So not sure if that had anything to do with it. And just as a little heads up, the shifter is not in the car right now. I took it back out for some other events and things like that. Still have it. I was thinking of putting it back in, but I don't know if the data doesn't lie. I mean, maybe the competition was just that much better. Maybe I had an off day. I mean, the competitions, the people that I've been racing against is pretty much the same between all of them. So I don't know, but that's what the data shows. As you can see, then we get another big dip, which luckily was for a points event for the club. And then we go back up, but that's really because of FordFest. FordFest was really fun, but really tough competition. I finished 7th, I believe, in class out there, but it's not the same classing as normal cam. So I was going up against cam C cars, were all in my class. So we were going up against pretty much every car ahead of me had some kind of power adder, whether it's a factory GT500 or it was the aftermarket supercharger on there or something like that. All of them had a power adder, so I was severely outgunned. And if you didn't watch the videos for FordFest, we did a Grand Champion competition. So it was Autocross, which I did really well in. Then it was drag racing, which I did not do very well in. And then it was a start-stop competition, which I did decent in. So the drag racing really, really brought down my score, but I think I still, even in autocross, I was sitting 6th, I think, in class. So still really good. And as I said, all the cars ahead of me were S197s, S550s with superchargers and really, really good drivers. Some of them national champions. So I'm really happy with how the car did. A lot of people were really surprised at how the car did. I was talking to people, and once I told them like what car I was in or something like that, they're like, "Wow, you're doing really good." We're really surprised that that car is that quick for just a 306 with a lot of suspension. And that's one of the big things that I've learned this year with doing the suspension is carrying the speed. So basically taking lessons from Miatas, where they just carry the speed through events they're able to handle. They don't have power. So even though I was way outgunned, I was able to just carry the speed through the obstacles and be able to run, very similar times to the much higher horsepower cars, but then just get walked on the drag race. So we will need to try to figure that out if I ever do want to actually win FordFest, which would be really awesome. I think the car is capable of it, but we definitely need to figure out something for that drag racing portion, whether just to learn how to drag race. I'm sure the car is faster than how I was able. This is my first time drag racing, so I'm sure the car is faster than how I actually got to go down the course at a 13.2, 13.3, something like that. I'm sure the car could probably run a 12 as it is. Probably have to do a little bit with the suspension. We can't change tires, so the tires have to stay, but maybe with some suspension tweaks or something like that. Moving on to the next events, we kind of had some ups and downs, but for all the points events for the club, I killed it. Just for some reason, I don't know if I did do a lot of tweaks. If you go back and look at the video lineup, so in between a lot of the autocrosses, there is videos of me like major suspension changes. So did a lot of tweaks to the suspension. And for these last couple ones, I completely put in stiffer springs and redid things. But yeah, this year, man, I'm so looking forward to next year now, and I got some changes that I'm going to do to the car. Nothing like mind-blowing like we did last off season, but wings, at least at this point, are not legal in KMT, and if they do become legal, I don't know if I'm going to switch. I wouldn't switch this year. It's not in the budget for it, and the budget is whatever I decide. It's my money, it's my time. I just don't really want to put that much into the car right now because we just still kind of getting over the huge amount of money spent last off season, but well worth it. These are the trophies from last year. We did receive these this year. That's why I kind of have them up here, but these are actually from last year. They say second place. So we're going to get some first place ones this year and first place jackets. Thank you guys for watching all the videos, the autocross videos, the build videos. I really appreciate it. I really like the feedback. I've gotten a lot of feedback that has really helped to make the car what it is at this moment. So I really appreciate all the feedback, suggestions, and comments, help, things like that. Feedback on our driving and things like that. I've learned a lot this year, as I've mentioned at Autocross Week. We got tons of seat time. FordFest, again, tons and tons of seat time, and that's how you learn, is seat time. And yeah, we had 20 events. I don't even know how many runs we did. I had it all totaled up at one point, but I don't really remember it at the moment. But yeah, 2023. What a year. So thank you. We will see you guys in the next one. We got some build videos coming up on the car, and we'll see if we can do a repeat for next year and make the car faster. Maybe make a run at nationals next year. We'll see. Later. Bye.